Everything good?
Joe, we on over there?
Done?
Don? Yeah, okay.
Sorry. That's all right.
Now, bring this meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals to order. The first item on our agenda is a continued hearing for 35 Mountain Road. The applicant has requested a continuance on this matter to our meeting of January 18th.
I'll make a motion to continue 35 Mountain Road to January 18th at 7:30.
Second?
Motion is made and seconded. All those, I guess, I gotta figure it out. Joanne, can they vote on, they can vote on the
Yeah,
continuance,
they got
right?
sworn
Okay.
in.
All right, so Jeff, we'll do you on the first one. Jeff, the first one. Jeremy, the second one. Sorry, too many J's. Motion is made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. The next item on our agenda is also a continued hearing for Richardson Road. Same applicant. They have requested that this item be continued to our meeting of January 18th.
Continue, make a motion to continue Richardson Road to January 18th at 7:30.
Second?
Motion is made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. Okay, the next item on our agenda is a new hearing for 3 Marjorie Road. Mark, could you read that into the record for us, please?
Yes, sir. The petition of Joseph Calandrelli for the property located 3 Marjorie Road, Burlington, Mass., as shown in Burlington Assessors Records Book, page number 561193-210, map and parcel, reference number 4-58-0. The applicant is seeking a variance for an existing shed located within the minimum 15 feet set side property line, denial due to the Burlington bylaws, Article 5.2.0.
Okay, is the applicant here? You can please come up to the microphone, introduce yourself, and give us an overview of the application.
Thank you. My name is Joe Calandrelli. I'm here an attorney on behalf of Eric and Kara Imlach, who are the owners of the property at 3 Marjorie Road. We're here to appeal a violation notice that was issued by the building department concerning the placement of a shed on the Imlach's property, which is technically within the 15-foot setback requirement of the zoning board, zoning bylaws rather. There are really 3 basic reasons why we are here on the appeal and seeking a variance. First, we believe that actually a violation notice should not have issued because the shed is required by and in compliance with a pool permit that was issued by the building department. But even if it wasn't, the reason that we are seeking a variance is because that shed was placed there in good faith, relying on a specific order of conditions and site plan that had been at length discussed with the Conservation Commission, approved, and actually requested by the Conservation Commission. And the Imlachs did everything right, relied on that plan, believing that it was all previously approved, placed a shed there. And really, in order to move it now, in order to comply with the 15-foot setback, would really cause an undue hardship for the Imlachs. And we believe there's really no harm, no prejudice to leaving it where it is. So I can go through a little bit of background that might assist this board in understanding sort of how we got here. A couple of years ago, when the Imlachs decided to put an in-ground pool in their backyard, they discovered a small drainage ditch. I think it was a man-made drainage ditch that extended horizontally at the very rear end of their backyard. So of course they went out, they hired the environmental consultants, they came up with a plan in order to comply with all the wetlands requirements that were going to be imposed on the plan. And their initial plan was to take a shed that had been previously existing there for the better part of a decade and leave it in its current place. They weren't going to change it. This is not a new shed. And the initial site plan that was prepared and submitted to the Conservation Commission had this site plan existing, had the shed existing right where it was. But it was during a site walk from the Conservation Commission members that they looked at the shed. It was within the 40-foot no structure setback, and they asked for the Imlachs as compensation for the project to consider moving it. So the Imlachs readily agreed. They worked together with the Conservation Commission in order to find a place that could be could pull the shed out of that 40-foot no structure zone and essentially make everybody happy. And what they found was that they could move it forward close to the pool, and the only sort of spot available in the corner of the pool was adjacent to the neighboring property line. They discussed this with the Conservation Commission. They came up with a revised plan. Conservation Commission actually liked it. They called it in the meetings a positive thing. And in fact, the plan went through 2 more iterations where it specifically showed the shed being moved to this particular location that was abutting the neighboring property line on the inside of a fence. And so after the second meeting where this shed was specifically discussed, the Conservation Commission issued an order of conditions which required the shed to be placed there, issued the wetlands permit, and the IMLACs proceeded with the project. They then pulled a pool permit, which also required compliance with the order of conditions, which, again, not to belabor the point, required that by its terms that the shed be put in this particular location. The one error that was made, and we acknowledge it, it wasn't caught at the time, that in connection with the pool permit application, the wrong site plan was submitted to the building department. So mistakenly, the one that was submitted was the original one that showed that the shed in its originally current location. But the terms of the pool permit, the terms of the order of conditions specifically referenced the revised site plan, which would have had the shed moving. So the pool work was done, and actually in connection, when the work was done, the shed, they were able to not have it directly abut the property line, but kitty corner it such that there's only one corner of the shed that actually abuts the property line. Most of the shed is within the 15-foot setback. It's a 12 by 16-foot shed, so it's a large shed. Not all of it's within the setback. But after the work was done and the as-built plan was submitted, a violation notice was issued because it is within the 15-foot setback. So, again, we believe that this was actually required and authorized by the pool permit because it was specifically required by the order of conditions. This shed was not a trivial matter. This is not something that got overlooked. This was a specific, lengthy area of discussion at the Conservation Commission, and they had to actually continue hearings specifically to discuss this shed placement issue. And so once that was revised, once the pool permit required work in accordance with the order of conditions, we believe that this shed was legally able to be there. So we don't think that a violation notice should have issued. But that beside the point, we're really here to ask for the variance because it is within the 15-foot setback. We understand that the conservation does not have jurisdiction over zoning matters, but the IMLACs did everything right here. They worked with every commission. They didn't even want to move it in the first place, but did so after hearing the concerns from the Conservation Commission. And to move it now would really be an undue hardship for the IMLACs because I submitted some photographs with our application. But this shed has really become part and parcel of the pool design. It's a 12 by 16-foot shed. It's been actually incorporated into the pool deck. The concrete pool deck goes right up to the front. The fencing that has been placed around it took into account this shed, so the shed actually acts as part of the fencing. So not only would the shed have to be moved, there was electrical conduits that were run underground in order to provide electricity to the shed. Those would have to be dug up and removed. We can't put it back to where it previously was because that would be in violation of the wetlands permit. So really, if they had to move this thing, it would have to go all the way over on really the only spot left in the backyard. There is a spot, but it was specifically designed to leave a little bit of green open space for their young children in the backyard. Placing this 12 by 16-foot shed would have to go there, would really essentially render their lawn a pool, a shed, and that's it. And when they went through this project and they came up with this pool design, they really wanted to leave a portion of that yard for play space for the kids. So it would require a lot of work, a lot of money, and essentially would really turn their backyard into something that they weren't previously ever wanting to do if they were having to relocate this. So with that, we're here to ask for the variance for that setback. All the notices to abutters went out. We have not received a single objection. In fact, the neighboring property owners right next to this property line specifically reached out to the IMLACs and asked if there's anything they can do to help support this petition. They'd be willing to do so. So we ask for the variance from this board, and I'm here to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Joe, we'll start with you. Any questions?
I don't have any questions right now.
Mark?
So I'm trying to understand, the relief that you asked for was to rescind the order. Are you looking to rescind the order, or are you looking for a variance? Which is it?
Well, so technically, we are looking for a variance because it is within the 15-foot setback. I don't believe that, it's really an alternative request. So I don't believe that we were in violation of anything because it was required by the order of conditions, which is why we asked for the violation notice to be rescinded. But because it is within the 15-foot setback, I think formally we are asking for a variance.
So if you're asking for a variance, what's the hardship under the statute?
The hardship is, in order to move this shed now, not only would it cost money, but in terms of moving the shed, but it would require a finishing off of the pool deck, because again, the shed was sort of placed within the pool deck. The concrete pool deck was poured around it. So you're not just talking about bringing in a machine to pick up the shed and move it. You have additional fencing that needs to go in. You have additional concrete work that needs to go in. You have to dig up electrical conduits that were dug and placed and run to the shed in its currently existing location. New gates would have to be installed. So it is a matter of practical hardship, it is a matter of financial hardship. And again, I come back to the point that they always wanted to leave it where it had previously existed. They cannot do that because it's within the 40-foot no structure zone. So there's only, and if it can't go in its current location.
Is that your, what you're claiming is the hardship connected to the statute requires it to be related to the land or the structure? What are you claiming the hardship is as it relates to either the structure or the land?
Well, it's all what I've just described.
I'm going to reserve, and I'll allow the other members to comment.
All right. Charles?
Sure, I have a couple of questions. So what's the shed used for? Is it storage? Are the filters in there, or?
It's primarily just storage. I don't believe there's just storage.
So I guess if everything went in the right order, you would have gone to the conservation, and then you probably would have come to us after the building department declined the permit, and then we would have had a vote on a variance at that time. So if for me, if you walk it back to that, I think that you certainly have a hardship on the shape and topography of the land, because the Conservation Commission asked you to move the shed for other reasons. So I think you'd probably get it that way. It's just a matter of how we do it now. And I guess my only other concern is there's no, I'm not sure that it was advertised properly to make that determination. There's no, do we know, like, it looks like it's right on the line. So, we need to know exactly what that number is, what the, how much of the shed is in there. I think there's a couple of pieces missing, I guess is what I'm saying, to vote on it. But that's all I have right now.
All right. Jeff, any questions?
Not at this moment.
Jeremy?
No.
All right. Yeah, I kind of agree with what Charles was saying about, the hardship, and I think there was some confusion with the building department. I guess one comment I'd want to just reiterate, it's, just because the Conservation Commission granted a permit doesn't, whether they said it should be in the setback or not, they don't have the authority to do that.
We understand that.
So just making sure that that's clear going forward. But I agree with the wetlands there and them asking for it to be moved up. And now the fact that it's in place, having to tear it out. But I agree with Charles about I think we need to know exactly what the setback is. Typically, the setback would be 15 feet. And so we would say, well, we're going to reduce it down to 5 feet or 3 feet. Like Charles said, this looks like it's right on the line, so it might be 6 inches or a foot for all we know. And the plan unfortunately doesn't say it. If the plan said it, we could reference that now. I think the way it was advertised, it was kind of loose enough to allow us to do that, but unless you have that number readily available.
I don't have specific measurements at this point. I certainly can get them to the board. There is a corner that is likely within, approximately 6 inches of the line. It is a 12 by 16 foot shed, but we certainly can get specific measurements on that.
Okay. Let's think about that for a few minutes. In the meantime, this is a public hearing, so if there's anyone in the public that would like to speak on this matter, come up to the microphone, introduce yourself. All right, seeing none, since there's still some questions on the table, let's leave this open for now. If anyone else has any other comments or questions or thoughts about how we could word it the way it was advertised if we wanted to move forward.
Yeah, I mean, from our perspective, without having it on it'd be nice to have it on the plot plan, exact measurements, with it being so close.
You do got an as-built, but it got no dimensions.
Right, it's so close that I think they didn't even think to put the dimension on there. I mean, I almost want to, with it being that close, I almost want to be able to verify that it's not off the property. I know that there's a fence there, and this looks accurate as far as plot plans go, but just having that number would be good for any future reference, just to make sure.
Understand.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, it would make me feel a lot more comfortable with this being so close that we had it on the plot plan, that we could make the decision with the plot plan in hand.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the wording of the advertisement, make sure, I mean, it says it's within this, it doesn't say it's asking for anything specific, so we're not doing anything more restrictive or less restrictive. So I think we're good. We just need the number.
Just need the numbers, I think.
Okay.
I think, if it was like 5 or 10 feet off the line, I might consider it, but it's so close that I think that.
No, I agree. Does anyone else on the board have any other comments or concerns before we ask them to go back and provide this information?
I have none.
Joe?
No, I just, I don't have any questions. I see the proposed, that when, we had it all down here, the proposed plan going to the conservation, just, skip the step with the building inspector. That's all.
Yeah, it
It's
seems
all on
like,
paper.
the building department got the wrong plan, so the step got missed, like Charles said.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff, Jeremy, any questions, comments?
No.
All right, so we'll look to continue this to our next meeting. It sounds like we're just looking for that one piece of information, unless something new comes up in the meantime.
Sure.
And then we should be able to move forward.
Will the board accept measurements provided by us or?
By Ed Farrell, the engineer.
Yeah,
Sure.
we'd like to have it on the plan, so we can
Of
reference
course.
the plan.
We can do that.
All right, great.
Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Okay, so take a motion.
Motion to continue to
December 7th.
December 7th at 7:30.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded to continue this meeting to our next meeting of December 7th. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, the next item on our agenda is a new hearing for 41A Harriet Ave. Joe, can you read that into the record for us, please?
Petition of Jose Ferreira for the property located at 41A Harriet Ave, Burlington, Mass., as shown on the Burlington Assessors Records map and parcel reference 46-24-0. The applicant is seeking a variance to construct 2 structures and a 2-story walkway between the 2 structures. Structure 1 is to add a second-floor addition to the existing house. Structure 2 is to construct a garage with a bedroom and a sitting room. Violation of section 5.2.0 Burlington zoning bylaw requires a minimum of 15-foot setback. Setback on 3 sides of your property do not meet the 15-foot setback. Addition side 1 is 10.6 feet, addition side 2 is 13.4 feet. Adding a second floor side 1 is 6.1 feet, second floor 2 is 8.8 feet, and second floor side is 3.1 feet.
Okay, please introduce yourself at the microphone, please, so the people at home can hear you as well, and give us an overview of the proposal. Looks like you've given us some new information, so if you can go over that too, please.
Good evening, members. David Kinsella, I'm the architect. This is Jose Vieira and Victoria Vieira. They live at 41A Harriet Ave, and they're the petitioner. I want to make a note, the ad that went out, there's an error in the description of the house. There was a previous design in that ad that was listed and run, describes 2 volumes or 2 structures with a connector. That was the previous design. We're now doing a single structure, so that the addition and a new second floor are all combined as one structure. That was based on the building department's recommendations. So I don't know, I handed out a packet to show you the new design. I'm not sure what packet you have.
I have the old one.
We have the old one.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you could just go over the details of that with us, we're gonna have to discuss how it was advertised and what that means, but we'll
Yeah,
get into that
I
after the
figured.
details.
When I read it today, I saw it, and
Okay.
I said it might be a problem.
All right.
All right, so basically, they want to add above an existing structure. It's a 1.5-story structure, so we're going to remove the roof and go up a full floor. The existing structure is here, and the proposed structure is here. So the proposed structure is a 2-story structure with a garage and a bedroom and a sitting room for Jose Vieira. The second floor is for Victoria's family. So we're adding approximately 1,400 square feet, and the existing house is 2,476. So that brings us up to about 3,800 square feet, including the basements. There'll be a partial basement under a middle area where both members of the family will enter, and there'll be a common stair. I'll explain that. The entire property is located in an RO district. It's a 5,000 square foot lot. Your bylaw requires 20,000 square feet. We're a non-conforming lot with an existing non-conforming single-family home on it. And it's non-conforming because of the side, the rear setbacks. So we're here asking for relief for those setbacks. The 2-story addition that we're adding, which is the new component, is also encroaching on the side and the side setbacks. So we need relief for side setbacks and rear, all of which are 15 feet. So on my board here, I have a dark line. That's the required, inside that box is where we're allowed to build per your bylaw, just so you can kind of get your mind around it. The 2 volumes here are the proposed design. Previously, we had a box over here, and it was connected and left some green space for the family to use, but the building inspector thought that it was not an appropriate design, so we went back and redesigned. This is the first floor. I've not provided a basement plan because there's really no work other than beefing up structure and additional utility work. So the top image is the existing first floor plan, and then the bottom image, the gray, is the new area. So you'll enter this common entry here, come into a foyer space with closets, common stair to go up to the second floor on both halves of the house. Garage is here, you come through, this acts as a mudroom as well. And then we have an open floor plan. We're modifying the existing first floor, removing walls, leveling floors. And the kitchen is the rear. I'll just go quickly because I know you're more interested in the exterior. So on our second floor is on the existing house only. It's shown in white here. And we're going to remove that in favor of this new second floor, which will have full height walls, a full story versus a half story. It's a master suite, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Again, we have the common space. Here's the stair, living, sitting room for Dad, and a bedroom for Dad, so he can have his own space. So, according to your bylaw, Ruthven is the frontage on the property, because it's the narrowest part of the lot. The lot's 50 by 100. So their address is 41A Harriet. This image here is the front image on Harriet Ave. This is the existing front image. You can see the difference in the volumes. We're taking this off up here, adding this full floor, and then going over the garage and that new common entry space. So here, this would be the, I guess if you're facing Harriet, this is the backyard, to make it simple. So this is the existing house. We're removing all of this, going up on the second floor, and then expanding over the garage for file. This is the Ruthven elevation, 2-car garage, come in off of Ruthven Park, walk through the house. This is the previous house. It's the addition's coming out from the previous house toward us. This is the other side of the house, the last and least. This side has no windows because it's non-conforming and it's closer than 5 feet to the property line. I'm required by law to fire rate this wall because it's under the 5 feet, so we didn't put any windows because that would complicate it. And this is the existing elevation, plenty of windows, still under the 5 feet. And then we have some images here for you to help you understand the project. Up in the upper left corner are the images of the existing house. You can see that half story we're removing. And then we have the Ruthven, the corner of Ruthven and Harriet. We have the other corner on Harriet looking down Harriet toward Wind Street. And then we have another view of the Ruthven in the rear yard. Basically, the lot was created in 1917, and the subdivision was created in 1970, which I believe predates the bylaw. So they're given an existing lot that became non-conforming because of the setbacks and the bylaws that are implied by the town later on in time, after the lot was created. Their existing house is 3 non-conforming setbacks. If you're facing the house on Harriet, the rear is non-conforming, the right is non-conforming, and the front on Harriet is non-conforming. The left toward Ruthven is conforming, and we propose to stay conforming with the bylaw. We have 25 feet there. And that's the end of my spiel.
All right, thank you. Joe, do you have any?
Do you have a revised site plan?
I do. It should be in your
It's
packet.
in the package.
Yeah, I don't have a package.
Oh, the one he just handed out.
There.
There you go.
I'm sleeping. You can move along. I don't have any questions right now.
Okay. Mark?
I don't have anything right now.
Charles?
Just have a question on the, I think it's the east elevation, but I'm not exactly sure. So the, oh, maybe not.
East would be the one that has no windows on it.
Yeah, so is that, the east area, is that facing the neighbor,
Yes,
green vinyl?
yes. Brand-new house on, up in here is a brand-new house. It's set back 25 feet.
Okay.
But because we're close to 5 feet, we have to fire rate that wall.
And this is directly across from the one under construction right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have any more questions at the moment.
Okay. Jeff?
I don't have anything at the moment right now, no.
Jeremy?
I don't have any questions.
Okay. probably have to bear with us for a couple minutes. We're just seeing these plans, so we're kind of, I know we're
Yeah, I
flipping
understand.
through them. We didn't have these before. Actually, this new plan resolves the advertising problem. I was looking at that. It seems to be advertised correctly per this plan, as far as the advertised dimensions, so that's something good. The existing house, you know, the setbacks for the existing house, it's an existing house, so that's, you know, I don't really have a major issue with that. I have, first question that comes to mind looking at these plans is it looks like there's a significant overhang all the way around the roof line of this.
It's, at the roof line, we're under 30-inch overhang. It's like a 24-inch overhang. There is a walkway from the driveway to the front entrance. Maybe that's what you're seeing?
Well, yeah, I saw that too, which, my point is, where are the measurements on the site plan, are they based on the overhang, or are they based on the foundation?
Foundation.
Okay. I don't think that's right.
In the past, the building inspector has allowed us to go up to 30 inches for a roof
For an
overhang.
overhang?
Yeah.
Okay,
He said if you go over 30, you're going to the Board of Appeals.
okay. If it's into the setback by more than that?
Yes.
Okay.
We will make sure it will not be in the setback, I assure you.
Well, it's in the setback.
Yeah.
Definitely in the setback, the whole thing's in the
Well, I
setback.
mean, over that 30-inch
Yeah.
dimension.
Okay.
I have to have a little bit of an overhang.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I mean, the one that I'm concerned that we have the right dimensions. B, I'm concerned about where it says it's 2 feet and you're 3.1 feet off the side. I just want to make sure that it's, you know, I know there's still a foot in play there, but I want to make sure we don't go over the lot line. Okay, I mean, I'll say, I like this iteration first glance a lot better than the other iteration. It makes it more in line with a single-family house. I guess I have a question. This is obviously planning on being used as an in-law?
No,
No.
there's no kitchen in it.
Okay, so it's all one house?
Yeah. It's just that he wants his space.
My privacy,
Yeah.
daughter, father.
Okay, I was more asking from the perspective of the building department that they know, if they were to know that this was an in-law and that it was,
We met with John Luther twice,
okay.
so he's aware of the
Yeah,
project.
if there's no kitchen, then obviously it's not a separate living space. Okay, as I said before, we're still kind of absorbing this right now, so I'm gonna open this up to the public. If there's anyone that would like to speak on this matter, you could please come up to the microphone and introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Pat Hickey. I live at 43 Harriet Ave on the roof fan side, and I have no objections to what Joe and Victoria are doing. Looks good to me.
Thank you. And that's on the right side of the property?
I'll be on the right side where the garage is.
Yeah.
I'm on that side.
Okay, thank you.
Donald Price, my wife Diana, and myself, we live at number 3.
Sorry, if you could just get a little closer. I just want to make sure that people at home can hear you.
My name is Donald Price. My wife Diana and myself, we live at number 3 Ruthven, basically across the street. I think it's a very nice-looking addition. I'm glad the Vieras are staying. And there's one nice thing that's good about it, is that they're taking the 2 automobiles off of Harriet, put them on Ruthven. It's a quieter road. So I hope you approve it. Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone else that would like to speak on this matter?
So, my name is John, and I live 42 Harriet. It's like the new house we're building there. And I'm here to support this project, and I like it. I like what they're doing there. Right?
Thank you. All right, let's again just leave this open for a minute while we're still trying to absorb this. I'll just put it out to the board. Does anyone else have any other questions for the applicant at the moment, since we're just getting this? So I guess going back to my earlier question about the overhang, you mentioned the walkway, it looks like it has a roof over it.
It does.
So is that marked out as part of the dimension? That's more than 30 inches.
4.5 feet.
It doesn't appear to, that it is.
Looking at the first floor plan, the porch extends further, so which measurement is marked here? Because I don't see it on the plot plan.
This dimension is 26 right here. That's just the dimension.
It's referenced on the site plan.
I don't believe he has, in fact, I believe his setback is to the foundation of the garage on that side, not the overhang,
Right.
the walkway.
That's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
He's got the setback at 10.6.
Right, but that's to the foundation of the garage.
Looks like it's to the,
Oh, it looks like the roof line. Oh, I see, he's got a building envelope there.
It's 50 feet, that property, so if you do the math, it's 7 feet
Bumped out.
on each side, or some combination of 4 feet.
Right, yeah, and the site plan showing 13.4 and 10.6, so,
Yeah. But we you either can remove it, or we can ask the board to give us, the smaller setbacks.
yeah, the only problem with that is that because of the way it was advertised, I mean, it could be re-advertised, and then we could grant it that way, but we can't grant a variance that's less restrictive than what was advertised. 'Cause someone might see it and say, oh, it's only 10 feet off, that's fine, but then 5 feet off, they might not be okay with, so, not that that's a dead stop, it just means we'd have to re-advertise and come back if that's what we're gonna do. So, you mentioned potentially being able to you'd basically be removing the overhang for the walkway then, and that would also include the wraparound for the eyebrow for the garage then, correct?
We need to remove that. We would need to remove the covered walkway.
Well, it's the stairs and the roof line will be setback.
We have ample room on the roof and side for that overhang.
This is
Right, that's right, on that side, there's no variance required.
See the black line here?
Yes.
I got the white shade, so I'm not bigger than that white space.
The stairwell and that roof. That's
That's
structural.
what you're talking about. Just to-
Yeah, that's, the setbacks would have to go up the stairs, not the
If the stairs aren't covered.
stairs stick out further.
If the stairs aren't covered, they can be in the setback.
They are covered though.
But he's saying potentially if you remove
To
it.
remove the roof.
Yeah. I mean, if you have that roof, even if it's just over the walkway, it's part of the structure and it would need to be regulated.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to be honest with you, if we're doing this, I'd rather do it right. And my opinion is re-advertise. I don't know what the rest of the board thinks. Maybe give them some direction.
I agree, I think you should re-advertise it with the new dimensions.
Aesthetically, it looks good with the roof there, but.
yeah, just
You
gonna
know, it's,
kind of say that, I'd like to,
It's no further than the existing building. It's actually set back.
Correct, yeah.
So I don't think it's a hindrance in any way. I don't think, and they're limited on what they can do on the size of this lot and the location of the existing building, so.
Just have Ed Farrell revise the plan reflecting all that
Yep.
Yeah, if you could just have the
and
site plan.
advertise it per that.
So I just have to go
The
back
site
to the
plan-
engineer and have them.
Yeah, reflect the overhang as part of the structure, and then we'll re-advertise with the new numbers, and then we should be able to get that in before the next hearing, or it's gonna be really close.
Yeah,
It would be nice if you
today's
could.
the cutoff, but
We're shooting for a spring build.
when would you be able to get me the information? Because today was the
I
cutoff
think
date.
within a week,
Oh.
maybe even sooner.
I mean, it would, the only chance to get it in for the next meeting would be tomorrow.
We have to talk to the surveyor, I can't speak
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah, okay.
We'll twist his arm. If I have to, I'll make the change for him. We'll try to
All we
get it.
really need is the number.
Okay.
We don't need the plan done. We need the plan at the hearing so that we can reference it. But what we need is the new number to advertise.
Sure.
If you get that to us tomorrow, we might be able to get you on for the next meeting. If not, we might have to.
That we can do, I'm sure of
We
that.
might be able to, we might have to go, because we have restrictions on how we have to advertise it in certain timeframes, so I can't make you any promises yet, but we'll see what we can do.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
So I think, does anyone else have any other comments before we continue?
No.
Okay, so I think just working out those details, and we should be able to move forward once we get that and get it re-advertised.
Is it the board's opinion that the covered walkway is, favorable?
Yeah, I think, yeah, we have
Because it's the lot's a very difficult lot to put a house on.
yeah, I think as we said, I think it's still set back from the existing house.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're coming closer to the street than you already are.
More toward compliance
Right,
with our
right.
proposal.
So I just want to make sure, I'm okay with it. I think you've heard that other board members are okay with it. I think we just need to get the numbers right and get it advertised correctly.
And are we measuring to the overhang, or are we measuring to the foundation?
For, you'll measure, for that, you'll measure to the overhang because it's going to be over the 30 inches of compliance there. The other overhangs, I'm okay with, because I believe you're correct with the building inspector's interpretation there.
Another one, he called me out on it, and I shrunk him down.
Yeah, okay. All right,
Thank you very much, appreciate your time.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we have time.
I'll make a motion to continue 41A Harriet to December 7th,
Second.
7:30.
Motion is made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. All right, thank you. We have to continue to get re-advertised then. Actually, Joellen, that's just it's a re-advertisement, but we're continuing it and we're just modifying the ad, right? We're gonna have to withdraw. We can always withdraw it at the next meeting and then,
But we can approve part of it?
and then withdraw the rest.
People
And we
people
draw
change
the
their
one
plans
that
all
we
the time.
want?
We just
They change the plans, but we don't re-advertise everything all the time. We're just saying with the re-advertisement. We can ask Amy. I mean, if we have to withdraw them and then reopen a new hearing, then that's what we'll do.
We do.
Yeah, which is fine.
Okay,
We'll do that.
but I'll talk to Amy tomorrow.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is the minutes from our previous meeting of October 19th.
make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay, motion is made and seconded. Just be the four of us, as you guys weren't here, so you just abstain. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0-2, or 1, I guess.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0.